Ready? Okay. Oh, wait, no. Can I do that again? Ready? Okay. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Boneyard Arcade podcast. As always, I'm Lucky.
I'm Graham.
And I'm Chloe.
And I'm Lucky. I'm not doing that again. I did it once. It's just one thing. One time. How you guys been? I feel like I saw you just yesterday.
I know. We're seeing each other like
all the time
now, and it's...
Are you really enjoying it? Like, you just having such a great time?
I think it's what sucks is that when we record, we can't have an air conditioner on.
Yep.
We can't have the windows open because there's so much noise out this way.
Yep.
It's getting warmer, and it's so hot in front of the lights sometimes.
I feel like we need to get some egg cartons. All right. Bear with me here.
Okay.
We need egg cartons because you're going to have to eat a lot of eggs. I hope you guys are like into your,
I'm down.
Yeah, cool. All right. So that's sorted. And then we take the egg cartons of all, I think it would roughly about, 50,000 eggs would probably fill this room.
Yeah.
And then you stick the egg cartons on the walls and it'll be soundproof.
That doesn't deal with the heat, though.
At least, you know what? Just
Where did you go with that?
The positive thing is that we're getting 50,000 eggs.
Exactly.
I should have just taken the carpet from my floors and put them up on the wall. It would have saved so much more time.
It is. I just love it. I still love that you did that, though.
It was like a post-Texas Austin frustration. I was like, this place is same shit as always. So I was just like, fuck the carpet.
So just rip the fucking carpet up.
Yeah.
Poor Chloe's probably laying on the bed while you've been doing it. Just like...
No, I got home from work and he's just like, I'm ripping the carpet. It needs to change. I'm like, okay.
I was like on the ground in a sweaty, bawling mess with like a box cutter in my hand, strips of carpet like in my other hand, and I was like, I'm cutting this carpet up. I seriously thought he was going to go American Psycho on me.
Oh, that's
like, because he turns around as I open the door and he's just like,
yeah, I was like, what do you want? What are you doing here?
I would like this to be a photo shoot, if possible, Josh, of Dan lying on the floor, like really sweaty. Like we'll get some like Vaseline and we'll lube you up.
Tears
With a box cutter.
Yeah.
Do you think you can make this happen? Is this going to be art?
is there an option to vote no?
I don't know if that's art, but it can happen.
We've implemented a fourth mic, by the way.
Yeah, Josh is getting some sweet
we'll see
audio.
how that works.
How clear? Let's hope.
If
Hopefully.
you can't hear me right now, then it didn't work.
Okay. And we'll put that on screen for
We'll
you.
put the subtitles in.
All right, so we're going to talk about a few things.
Yeah.
And then we're going to take this into a different direction and answer some questions that people have put to us on the internet.
We've been asking people to ask us questions.
Yes.
For like the past week. And we've just been telling people, ask us anything. An AMA.
Ask me anything.
We sent the call sign out, the bat signal.
Yeah.
We sent the bat signal
Which is
out.
just Chloe's tits.
Yeah, the bone signal. Oh, bone signal. We need to design a bone signal.
It's Chloe's tits.
I'm going to design a bone signal.
It's just big boobies in the sky.
I'm going to design a bone
Oh
signal.
my god.
We're gonna
like
get
in Austin Powers when they're just like, that looks like a pair of giant... It's the satellite.
and then the
yeah.
ongoing joke that lasts 10 minutes that I don't want us to start right now because I know what will happen.
Do that.
So we've got the Ask Me Anything happening later on. But what we want to do first off is go to Justice League.
Josh is pointing at
What are you
pictures for
pointing
some
at? What is
reason.
that?
What do you
Does it
want?
look like you guys were totally just going to go straight into the Q&A?
No, that's why I said bat signal, but then like everyone was like, machine gun job please. And I was like, no, we're not going there. It's not happening.
Shag you up.
Yeah, it's not happening. We're going to go back to Justice League.
Okay.
And so talking about the bat signal and talking about things that, we came from a hard place and all of a sudden we weren't happy with change.
It makes sense.
Justice League.
I just got the...
I was like trying to get us there the whole time.
I'm so sorry. It's like, Dan, where are we going?
Yeah, the whole time I was like... and we just weren't getting there. So I was like, fuck, I'm just gonna have to get this there. Justice League. We went and saw Justice League. The film is out. And I guess I'm gonna start with you because you have an opinion you put online that I feel like is a shared opinion by many people who saw the movie. How did you feel about Justice League?
I basically, after the movie, went on Facebook and I was just like, the status I put up, I was like, I'm going to review the movie for people, but like, in a spoiler-free kind of way. And I wrote, Justice League was bad. And that was it.
Yeah, really simple way of just stating
I could have elaborated, like, honestly. I could have been like, oh, it had its good parts and I felt this way about certain things and I enjoyed this, but in the end I was like my eyes hurt from rolling and I was like, oh my god, so much justice, I can't deal. So I was just like, I think this is how it sums it up for me. So that's honestly just how I felt. But I'm curious to see what Chloe kind of
virtually
liked about it, if anything.
virtually on the same lengths as you. Like, I didn't necessarily have so much eye rolling. There were parts I did genuinely enjoy, but I think the best way to describe it is that I was whelmed through the whole movie.
Whelmed.
Not underwhelmed, not overwhelmed. It was
just
literally
whelmed.
in the whelm section. She's like, yeah.
Yes, this is a movie. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, so it was very much going through those wavelengths. I could watch it again, but it's not something I'm dying to see again.
Yeah. What about you, Dan?
I approached the film very open-minded. I was like, I know I wasn't happy with Suicide Squad. I know that Batman vs Superman was something I just did not enjoy. I've watched that movie like 6 times now.
Yeah.
I've not enjoyed it each time I've watched it, but for some reason I keep going back at times, just like having it on in the background and watching it. And this movie felt kind of the same. It's going to be one of those things that I'll watch like another 4 times, 5 times, right? It features Batman, and for me, like, I like Batman. The whole time growing up, Batman was one of my favorite heroes. So having Batman in this film was one of the selling points. And for me, the opening 3 minutes of this film, I looked at it and I was like, they need to make a Batman standalone series of movies, like even if it's just a new trilogy of films.
Yeah.
And we just have Ben Stiller's Batman.
Ben Stiller, Ben
Ben
Affleck.
Yeah, Ben Stiller.
Can
Ben
you
Stiller as
imagine Ben
Batman? Holy
Stiller
shit.
as Batman? Gross.
Hey, the dude's fit.
He's fit,
That's
but
true,
he's
actually.
also like...
He's also this
It'd be like having Tom Cruise as Batman. It just wouldn't work.
he jumps on couches and shit and tries to get everyone
really,
excited.
with a cape, that would have been funny.
And he laughs like this.
Yeah, he's really strange. And, yeah, but having
Tom
Ben
Cruise.
Affleck as the Batman was cool. I like the design again of the suit and everything. So he looked really cool. The first 3 minutes, make some Ben Affleck Batman films. Chuck, a decent Joker in.
Yeah.
I've always been wanting Willem Dafoe because he's got that decrepit look. His voice would work for Joker. I just think he's a perfect match for Affleck's Batman because he's older, more weathered.
Yeah.
He's been affected by everything. He's got experience. So
I
go
agree.
down that path. Wonder Woman was sick.
Except all of the fucking, like, the first 30... This is going to sound, like, really whingy and preachy kind of, but, like, the first minute of that film, you see up her... Like, it's an upskirt of her.
Yeah.
And then that theme just continued the whole movie, and that kind of annoyed me because that didn't happen in the first Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Like, there was no emphasis on Wonder Woman is, like, overtly sexual as a character. Like,
Yeah.
she's hot as fuck, but, like, it wasn't, like, as evident in Wonder Woman as it was in this one.
Yeah,
Like,
it was definitely not something you paid attention to. I think everyone was super empowered before they even walked into that Wonder Woman film. No one was even like going in there to look for the little things. We knew that there was like a female director.
Yeah.
And it was literally based on a female hero. So I don't think anyone went in looking for like, oh, well, how are they going to sex up her character?
Yeah.
Whereas in this one, they had that opportunity to do so.
And they did it.
And they did it. I came back and I was like, oh, I'm going to give it a 6.5 because I know it's something I'll watch again. It was a little bit better than I thought, but I think that's because I literally looked at Aquaman and was like, I really like the way Momoa handled this character. I didn't like the Flash.
At all?
No, he just annoyed me.
did
I
you
don't like the
Flash?
actor.
I think that's half the reason why you don't, though. Like, I didn't hate Flash.
Yeah.
I thought he could have been done better, but then when I kept on asking Dan questions on how is Flash normally, because I wasn't too familiar with what his character's like in the past, apparently he's meant to kind of be that way.
Okay.
So I didn't find him terrible, but I think you already don't like the actor already, which is why you probably had the natural contempt.
I don't know. It was just something about the actor that was playing the character. And at the same time, every time I see the Flash, particularly in these movies and the way they've done him, it's like, oh, we need our version of Spider-Man's personality.
Yeah.
We need that witty little character who pops the funny one-liners and,
He wants to be the hero, but he's kind of unsure, and it's just like he's almost like he's like the least heroic out of the lot of them, and it's kind of like that's our representation of ourselves in the Justice League era. It's like we're not heroes, but if we were given the opportunity, would we be sure of ourselves? Would we step into the role or joke about it, kind of thing? It's like it enables the audience to kind of step into the Justice League in their own way and like put themselves in that situation almost. Because it was funny because we got little gift bags afterwards, and in our gift bags, Josh got the Flash, and I was like, how appropriate. Because just reminded me of the Flash, like kind of ADD kid all over the place, fast boy, likes to go fast.
I just felt like they didn't do the Flash very well because they wanted him to, like you said, be the Spider-Man character, and they used it in the wrong places and at the wrong time. Like they would try and treacle cut during a really serious scene, and they were struggling to make the serious scenes work anyway. So to then like try and bring comedy in when there's a serious moment going on, it's like, come on. And then they overdid it. And every time they just threw it in for the sake of like, oh, we'll get a cheap laugh here. didn't work for me.
They even tried to sell that movie in its trailers by using a lot of funny scenes, like the scene where the Justice League disappears and Flash is the last one left standing over.
He's like, oh, they really do just disappear.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, yes.
That's
Don't
rude.
draw attention to it.
And then he just disappears as well. And like the whole cinema, when we saw that scene, was kind of like, I've seen that
It's like,
10
oh, good.
times already. Yeah. So like, I mean, the film it wasn't absolutely terrible. Like, I mean, like it's something you could put on in the background, have it run, and that's cool.
Yeah.
Because it's another Batman film, and I literally see it as that. I'm like,
Batman.
I mean, I've made it through Joel Schumacher versions of
I still love
the Batman films. I will happily just add this to the list of shit sandwich that has been Batman movies.
Shit sandwich.
Yeah.
It's been summing up a lot of things for us recently.
Yeah. I mean, there's good Batman movies and there's good Batman movies, and somewhere along the line there's shit ones, and you know they just mix in. So it's a Batman film. It's got other superheroes in it too. I mean, if you really love Wonder Woman, she's in it too. You know, Aquaman. Cyborg was just a side character. He was too brooding.
I liked him.
Well, it's good that they actually involved him more than I thought they would.
I like that he wasn't like the over-the-top character that I've kind of seen him portrayed as in like Teen Titans and stuff like that. The only like knowledge of Cyborg comes from Teen Titans and Young Justice and stuff like that. Like that's all I know.
Yeah.
And he's always been like, yeah, football.
Yep.
But in this, he's kind of like he's clever and he's like calm and he's like calculating. And I was just like, yeah, I like this more than I thought I would.
I think he did his character really well on that note. Like especially if you were to compare him and the Flash, like I think definitely summed up his character really well to get the type of person that he is for an introductory movie.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Like, if anything, like, going back to The Flash, I think it was probably just a real poor choice in actor. Because if you have seen Ezra Miller's... Sorry for touching your mic. If you have seen Ezra Miller's other movies, he's normally the extroverted type as well. So he's normally quite... aside from Fantastic Beasts...
Now I'm touching things. Jesus Christ. He was Credence in Fantastic Beasts.
But even then, he wasn't very great.
All right, let's quickly wrap it up with a rating. You said 6.5?
Yeah, I'll stick with that.
10?
Yeah, I'll stick with that.
Stick with a 6.
I'm going with like a 3.
Cool. So let's
Could
say
not manage.
4.5 somewhere.
Average.
Yeah, let's say about 4.5. It's a roadshow film. It's out now.
Yep.
I mean, if you can,
don't let us discourage you from seeing it. Like, we're not at all trying to discourage people. Like, make your own assumptions. You're not, you're an adult unless you're not, in which go see this with an adult.
Yeah.
And they'll tell you to make your own assessment on things.
Particularly if you're not over superhero films yet. Go and check them out because there's so many out there and they're always coming up and popping up. And
new one coming out that we've seen a trailer for.
Yeah, and I feel like this stands in a different
realm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to have introduce what that is?
Deadpool did Bob Ross and it was the best ever because he had the afro and he was painting happy little trees and shit and it was like the weirdest kind of trailer but also like totally relevant to everything that our generation kind of is at the moment. Why are we so obsessed with Bob Ross and his painting hour?
Everything at the moment that is weird is
happy
successful.
Tree. It's so good.
Yeah.
He's like Bob Ross is like ASMR in my opinion.
Yeah.
He just sits there and he's like, okay, now we're gonna make a happy little tree.
Yeah.
We're gonna make this sunshine. Get that nice sunshine. Yeah, the warm sunshine. Now take your canary yellow.
They store like a microphone near his equipment as well, so that when
so
he's doing stuff, you can hear him squelching the paints, and you can hear him like just making all these noises, and it's like, it's those those sense tingling noises that go on. But the trailer it's cool. It's a teaser.
It's very small.
Yeah.
It's a perfect teaser.
Yeah.
Do you reckon?
I think so.
You don't think it's like too little, or you kind of like the idea of actually being teased?
I do.
Yeah.
Like only in this sense.
Oh, sure.
Okay, sure, right.
I like that it's a teaser. It shows only a very little bit.
Yeah.
You can always sit here and be like, I wish they showed a little bit more. But then you get those people who are like, I hate trailers because they show you the whole movie in the 3 minutes. Yeah, right?
That's me. I sit there and I'm like, I've seen the movie. I don't need to go see it.
Yeah. In this, we got a little bit of Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
She looks so good with like her little like quiffy mohawky thing and she's just flipping someone off and I'm like,
the proper blue and yellow X-Men outfit with that really dark blue and the X logo.
It looks sick.
We got a little bit of Cable at the end, just that little hand.
Yeah, he picks like a magazine up off the... I mean magazine as in like a gun magazine.
Yeah.
I don't mean like, Teen Weekly or some
Woman's
shit.
Day, yeah. Yeah, and then we get like a Thanksgiving picture of like everyone who was in the first movie plus our new additions to the film, like Domino.
I'm so excited, man. Like, I honestly can't wait for this movie.
Yeah, there isn't very much to say besides the fact that this is a funny teaser and it just gives us a bit of an indication that we're in for something cool with the next film.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen that, check it out. It's online. If you look up Deadpool 2 teaser, I'm sure you'll find it on YouTube or anywhere on Google.
Yeah.
Go on IMDb. That's always reliable.
Or ask us, and we will answer that question for you and tell you where you need to go.
Yeah, because we know things.
Well, yeah, I mean, we pretend to know things.
Yeah, speaking of pretending to know things, as we've aforementioned at the beginning of the podcast, if I can enter my passcode correctly.
Whipping out the laptop.
Whip it good.
We're gonna whip it good. Whip it real good.
We're gonna start our AMA.
Yeah.
Our little AMA.
Just a few, like easy questions, and then I'm gonna bugger off, and then Josh is gonna come in so that you guys, get to know people better. Because you don't really know Josh and Chloe as much as you know Dan, who, drinks out of bowling shoes and just really likes boobies. So
yeah,
that's not much more to know with you, really.
Yeah, I feel like the AMA is a perfect way for people to hear answers from Chloe and Josh.
Yeah, which is good. You got to know them better because they're cute and I love them. I'm so sorry. Except
Someone
when Chloe
ask
fucks
Chloe
shit up.
why she needs to touch the equipment and fuck everything every week.
All right.
I'm sorry, I'm a fiddler. Oh
I'm a fiddler. All right, so
I just can't help but hit everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll keep them here.
No,
Is that
you're
better?
right.
They're right there now.
Just
no movement whatsoever.
just stay still.
I don't have lots of time, you guys. I got to do this.
Let's smash out a couple this time.
Just a few.
Before our switch.
Yeah. All right. So first question comes from Tom, and Tom asks, out of the Boneyard arcade crew, who would win in a fight? So if it's like battle
The
royale
4
kind of
people?
thing, yeah, I reckon Dan would win.
Yep.
Yeah, I reckon Dan would win.
Okay.
Josh is off camera saying that Dan reckons he'd win.
Okay.
Is there
Gabs,
anybody
Gabs
who
would put up a good fight, but I think Dan is going to win.
Okay.
I feel like Chloe cops your shit sometimes when you get bitey, and she's got a good pain threshold for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Josh kind of does this thing where he has a flash of light and then suddenly he's a little bit stronger than usual and he kind of runs at you with fists and stuff. So maybe, but I reckon overall I think Dan would be the one.
I just have a natural particularly if I'm being protective.
Yeah, the bulldog, kind of thing.
Yeah. Which is one day it's going to get me in a lot of trouble. I'm going to get stabbed or something. But till then, to answer the question.
There have been near times.
Yeah, to answer the question, I guess I feel like if it came down to me having to out of the 4 of us, who would be the first to get up and fight?
It'd be you. Me. Yeah,
it'd probably be me.
All right, here's another question. Nick asks, where would you live if you could live anywhere in the world and why?
Hawaii.
Hawaii? Why?
I naturally I'm an islander. So I like beach, I like sun, I like
Where are you from, Chloe?
I'm from Mauritius.
There you go. Okay.
So I wouldn't move back there.
No, okay. No. So you go to one of them.
I'd go Hawaii.
For anyone who doesn't know where Mauritius is, because you can't see it on the map.
It's small.
It's somewhere near where that country where all the animals talk.
Yeah. What? No, okay. So look, you got Africa, and then you got Madagascar.
Okay. Is that the one you meant?
The one.
And then a little bit more east, you got 5 islands, and Mauritius is one of them.
And it's really tiny, and they're all related, and there's you can walk across the country in a couple
4
hours or something.
Less than that.
I think it's you can drive across it in 40 minutes or something.
Something like
that. The country. So Mauritius, yeah. So,
no, but you live in Hawaii.
Yeah, I always loved Hawaii. Well, I haven't even been to Hawaii.
Yeah.
I've never been, but I've always loved the idea of living in Hawaii, having the backyard be sand and a coconut tree, and just working in a hotel, being Mila Kunis in Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yep, I was going to say, I was like, is this what we're aspiring to now?
So attractive in that movie.
Oh my God, right? What about you, Dan? Where would you live if you could live anywhere?
Growing up my whole life, was obsessed with the States.
Yep.
Just everything. I remember going to Costco the day it opened so I could find American cheese.
Yep.
Because I had spent my life searching for
American cheese.
Yeah, the slices, the cheddar orange shit.
Yep.
I had spent my life searching for that. So, big answer, the States.
Yep.
If I had to put it down to experience, I would say in the States. I never ever thought I would want to go and live in Texas.
Yeah.
But now that I've been there and been to Austin and just learnt that it was totally my vibe, I would go back there no time flat.
Yeah. Fair enough.
What about you?
So when I went traveling with Josh earlier this year, we went over to Wales to meet some of his extended family because his family are Welsh. And while we were over there, we went to some of the coolest looking places. And it's like, I've always wanted to live in a cold climate where there's lots of rain and it's really lush looking.
Okay.
So we went to where his grandparents live in Mumbles. And it was just this tiny little seaside town, and everything's green, and there are castles and shit. And I'm like, look, I loved America, and I would live there in a heartbeat as a convenient place to live.
Yep.
But as like a, where my soul wants to be, it wants to be like in that kind of climate. So I would want to go and probably live in Wales somewhere.
In a castle.
In a fucking castle. Fuck yeah, I want to live in a castle. All right, maybe I'll do one more just before I bugger off. Let's go with how do I go about touching Chloe's boobs in person? And that is from Lex.
I reckon we just let you answer this question. What's like this is a very like niche question here.
Yeah, this is specific to people who we know.
Yeah. What's like what are Chloe's top 3 rules, do's and don'ts?
It's like Scott Pilgrim versus the World. You have to go through her evil exes, but her evil exes are our current like relationship friends and people. It's like you got to fight all of us to get to Chloe. She's like the boss battle.
Boss battle. You'd have to get through 5 levels of Dan, I reckon, first before you get to me.
Dan slowly drinks, and then you have to fight the varying degrees of drunk Dan to get to Chloe. And the more he drinks, the sloppier he gets, but the less he feels, so he can eat up all that shit.
I feel like this could totally be a video now.
I really
My
kind of
special
want
strength
it now.
is doing that.
Yeah. And then like I'd smash candy and then like scratch people's eyes out. Yeah. And Josh like builds robots and then they come and fight you and stuff because he's the smart boy and he's the fast boy. All right. Is that how we get to touch Chloe's boob?
I think so. Yeah. Create me a video game and I will determine the assessment from there.
Nice. All right. We're going to do a quick swap and then we'll come back with Josh so we can answer some more of your questions.
Okay. All right. We're back and we have obviously swapped out our Lucky with our Joshy. Because we're going to answer more of those AMA questions that we've been getting for the past week on Twitter. A quick reminder, if you want to ask us stuff, either ask us in the comments below our video here on YouTube. If you're seeing this on Facebook at some point for some reason, throw it into the comments there. Otherwise, hit us up on Twitter at our handles, which we'll give you at the end of the show, and ask us random questions. We will answer anything you ask us, pretty much. Mm-hmm. Or at least we'll make it a creative response so that it doesn't seem like we didn't want to answer your question. Gab is off camera, but she's got a microphone. Gab, say hi to the people.
Hello.
Hello, Quizmaster.
Hello.
She has our questions. She's going to throw them over to us so that we can answer them, and she will probably jump in and answer them as well. And I'm going to stop playing game show host and go to Gab with the question. Gabby.
Okay, Daniel. Well, first up, we have a question from Hellspawn Rick, who is asking, is eating ass on the first date frowned upon? I need to fucking know, brah.
Dan.
What? I guess it depends on your situation. Like, if your first date's like a strip club or like a brothel or something. Like, I mean, we have them in Sydney, and that's totally fine here. Like if that's where you met, I'm assuming you ate ass before you spoke. It comes down to the context of the situation. Like, I mean, if you guys are hanging out at the country club, probably not. But if you're like, at the good old strip club or brothel here in Sydney, then I wouldn't frown upon that.
I hear you eat the most ass at the country club, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2017. I'm pretty open-minded. I would say go for it.
At the yacht club,
you do you.
Just hey, we're just going for brunch.
What's on the menu?
My ass.
Snorted. Excellent.
You got my. Did you get my scary movie reference?
Oh wow. It's the bullshit we deal with, Josh.
Right? Chloe, answer the question.
I don't want to.
After 5 minutes of laughter, we'll just hard cut back in.
Yeah. Chloe, would you eat ass on the first date?
I personally no.
Oh.
Prude.
No, I can't say it was the most pleasant experience.
Still waiting.
Not on the first date, maybe 3 or 4.
Alright, well, my life motto is skate fast, eat ass. So if that doesn't answer the question, I don't know what will.
If that doesn't answer the question, it better become a fucking sticker.
I'll make that into a t-shirt. You can wear it with pride.
Send $1, we'll do a test run.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
What's next?
I'm going to read you another question.
I think I have a laughing tear. Sorry.
Stop crying.
This is another question from Hellspawn Rick, but since he gave us such a great last question, let's give him another one. He's asked, where is the strangest place you've urinated or defecated?
Oh, shit.
Yes, and pissed too.
I have a story for this, but I'm going to let you guys go first.
No,
I need some thinking time. I mean...
Mine don't seem rather appropriate.
I shat my pants one time in a parking lot and I walked home with it in it. It went down my leg. All right, so here's the story.
Give us the story.
Yay.
So my sister and I were up at the shops and we were walking home, and it's like a 5-minute walk from the shops to our house. Anyway, we were in the car park, and as we were walking back, I was like, it'd be really funny to get her to pull my finger, right? And so I was like, hey, Jess, pull my finger. And she did. And then the foulest, most disgusting squelchy noise came out. It was like... And she's like, dude, that sounded wet. And I was like, oh, fuck, I followed through. So I walked home with shit in my pants. So the strangest place I've defecated is in a parking lot in an Asian grocery store.
Awesome. And so, you know, the thing about that and why I'm sitting here just like, I totally get this, is because it's so you.
Yeah, right?
It's
is
so
that
you.
Bad thing?
It's so you. And I'm like not surprised by this shit at all. I'm like, yeah,
that's it.
Sounds like a kind of weekend that I'd expect. Like,
I just have more love for you now.
Oh my god, Chloe, I love you.
You got something?
Joshy?
I need some time to recover from that.
I'll give you my little story, which I didn't shit my pants, luckily. But
wow.
We were out in the city, drinking and having a very big night of, you know, drinks and food, and just letting the night take us to wherever we ended up. And I really, we were catching the train home. I needed to pee real bad, but at the same time needed to puke. And so I was like, I'm just going to walk through this gate here. We were at Town Hall in Sydney. And I was like, I'm going to walk through this gate. I'm just going to pee in the bush. And I'm just going to chuck real quick. So I did both at the same time somehow. I don't even know how my drunk brain was like piss and puke at the same time.
That's a natural bodily instinct.
Yeah, right? I was just like, just release it.
I mean, you weren't far off the triple.
Just release it. And I there were people walking past and stuff, and I was like, shit, what did I walk into? I walked through a gate. Why are there people walking past me? Through this door that's just to my right. And it turned out it was actually the police station at Town Hall. And I was just throwing up and pissing all over the wall inside this bush. The bush must have just looked like it was making noise, because all you could hear was as it was hitting the wall. And it's just a bush. And I was like, God, I really hope that I don't get arrested after I found out it was a police station. So I quickly legged it. As I legged it, I was like, I better zip up and fix myself up and everything. So I'm running
for public nudity as well.
And I was like, I freaked out. I was like, holy shit. And now I'm putting it on a YouTube video, and I'm like, I hope they can't come back 10 years and arrest me for throwing up on the side of their building.
I think statute of limitations is 7.
Oh, sweet.
I think.
Yeah,
so you're probably okay. Just make sure it was,
Yeah, this was
totally happened in the year 2000.
Yeah, this was 10 years ago. I'm sweet. But yeah, no, pissed, puked, police station wall in the center of Sydney.
Wow.
Yeah, that was it wasn't an objective. I wasn't like, I'm going to fucking do something daring today. Just drunk.
Okay.
I mean, now you treat it as an objective, though.
Well, it's a bucket list ticked, I guess, but never knew it existed at first.
Mine's nowhere near as elaborate or fanciful. Okay. My one, I was at a glamping... I don't even know what it was. It's basically fancy tents.
Okay.
I was there for a thing I was filming for.
Yep.
And it was the middle of the night, and there were no toilets in the tents because they were tents, but on stilts and on these wooden platforms. So you were supposedly getting the luxury experience.
Oh, I know what they. Yeah.
This was out in the middle of nowhere as well. And when you've been having some beers after work and you wake up at 2 a.m, you're like, I'm not going up to the main house.
Yep.
Because that's a trek, and I'll probably get eaten by a drop bear on the way.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just peeing off the balcony. But I mean, to be fair, I was the only one there besides my other 2 co-workers at the time, and they were in a tent probably 50 meters up the hill.
Yeah.
So there was no one to see it, and it was 2 a.m, and yeah, I was not going to take my chances with the
so you just
with the wildlife.
Just hung it off a balcony.
Yeah, pretty
That's
much.
Good though.
I mean, it's back to nature.
Yeah, a little bit.
And
of
the
freedom.
amount I drunk, it was pure water coming out anyway.
Yeah, I have that fear of going camping and needing to shit and not having somewhere to go. I used to hate using public toilets in a workplace or something. I'm totally fine with that now. But going camping,
I mean, after you've gone and in public at the police station, nothing is off limits.
I was like, when you do stuff, like you do stuff when you're drunk and then you do stuff when you're sober, and it's like you never did it when you were drunk.
Yeah.
I know I've got the story, but like the confidence I probably could have gained out of pissing on a wall in public just never followed me.
I once took a risky dump right before getting onto a plane.
Yeah.
And I was like, if this isn't a clean break, this is, we're
in trouble.
Yeah, like we're boarding in about 2-3 minutes. And I was like, Gabs, I'm just going to go pee.
Yeah.
And
you fucking lied to me.
Yeah.
Hey, it was my comfort for the next hour and a half, and I didn't want to be uncomfortable.
But I feel like the unease behind pissing, shitting in public places or in situations where it's questionable is like such a relatable thing. If you have a piss or shit story,
everybody poops.
Give it to us. Put it down below. I want to find out because it's totally relatable. I mean, everyone's got that story.
Chloe, you got anything, or do you just want to scoot right along?
It probably isn't near as good as Dan's.
Nothing can be.
First and foremost, I'm going to
waddling back from a car park.
Yeah,
that's pretty up there too.
First and foremost, I'm going to say never go to TGIF Fridays at Macquarie ever again.
What did you do to their bathroom?
I didn't do anything to their bathroom.
It sounds like a lie to me.
We went to go watch a movie, and after dinner, my stomach just completely did a 360, and I'm just like, Dan? And he's like, what? I'm like, I think we need to go home. And he's just like, if it's that bad, we're in the MX-5, so I'm definitely not taking you home. Dan picked the car over my stomach. So
it was like we had it for a day.
That's a fair choice.
We had it for a day, and I was like, if you shit yourself in this car, we're selling it. We can't even sell it.
You once got home, actually, and puked just outside the car. You managed to hold it till then.
It was pretty good. We went and had Thai food, and I remember stepping out of on the way home, I was like, man, I feel like I'm going to puke everywhere. I feel gross. And we got to Josh's place, and he's pulled the car up, and I very calmly opened my door, and I've just squatted outside where the car door was. I didn't close it or anything. I've just squatted over and just gone, bleh. And it's the whole fucking meal has just come up like totally like how it went down. It was like in a perfect circle. And I went back the next morning and I'm like, that is fucking incredible. Look at how symmetrical that puke is right there. But I just remember opening my mouth and all this puke came out in this perfect little ball, basically.
You could have probably added boiling water to it, put it in a bowl, and it would have come back to life.
Exactly.
That's probably how they make 2-minute noodles.
Yeah. There you go.
The more you know.
Noodles. Please
ramen.
It's too late. It's done.
I go for rides in cars and then I puke, and that's 2-minute noodles for you. All right, I'm going to move along because
let's leave behind.
You're degenerates. Yeah. All right, here's a question.
So Chloe violated a bathroom at Macquarie. That's all we need to know.
Yeah.
The event cinema
forcefully too, because I was like, I can't take this new car and have you potentially shit in it.
I think we just spent like 8 minutes talking about
shit.
Piss and
I told you it's a
shit.
relatable topic.
I know. That's why I went with it. All right, here's one. This one's from Ross. Ross asks, how did you all get your cosplay alias / Twitter handles?
Oh shit.
Should we start up that end?
Yeah, you start, because yours is fairly new to you, right?
It is really new. I just I think at the time I wanted to create something clever that also spoke wonders to me. So Accio made a really appropriate thing because it's Harry Potter relatable.
What does it mean?
Accio is a summoning spell, so basically to summon the titties. And I am summoning the titties. That's the simple story. It's
the simplest breakdown for that name, and it's straightforward.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not much else to go. Like, you can't.
And it speaks wonders about me.
Yeah. Keep it simple, stupid.
And I know that we on Twitter you have your name as a handle, but you're also known as Hoon Photography.
I am. That was one of those ones where it was after we'd done the Punk Harley and Joker shoot.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, I really need to start sharing my stuff. And I sat there for probably a couple of hours. And at this point, it had been weeks of us trying to like come up with a name. And I was like, no, I got to do it today or it's never going to happen. And it was like, be first name, last name photography, or come up with something good. And so I love cars, and I've been called a hoon by some. Come at me, Tracy Grimshaw.
Yeah.
Fucking Tracy Grimshaw, go pick on real crimes.
So basically, because of my love of cars and racing and stuff, I decided to be Hoon Photography.
I picked that name for you.
You helped.
No, I picked it.
Oh, okay. Gabby picked my name.
There you go.
How did you get yours, Lucky Bones?
I was Bad Luck Kitty on things because I was Black Cat when I first picked my cosplay name, and it was fucking stupid because it was the first character I cosplayed, and so I was like, no, I don't want to be that anymore when I joined SBS because they were like, oh, do you want to have a new name? And I was like, yes. So I was like, how can I keep this kind of one track but totally different in that way? And so I went with Lucky because, Bad Luck Kitty. And I was like, that's a good first name, that works. And I was like, okay, last name, all right, pick something badass. And I'm like, Bones. Bones is a cool name, but with a Z, because that's fucking edgy as shit. So that's how it happened.
Fair enough.
That's straightforward as well. That's pretty simple.
Straightforward to the point.
I've gone through so many names in my time.
Your recent one is either we're related or married.
One? Yeah. My first one, I was like Sydney Spider-Man. Because my first cosplay was like a proper Spider-Man suit.
Well, it does what it says on the label.
Yeah, and it did everything. Like, it was like, I was Spider-Man for a lot of stuff. And that was like where I really took off in cosplay with stuff as well. It was like I got to work with comic book stores and do little movie things. And yeah, I was like Sydney Spider-Man until I was like, shit, I need to do more than one thing. So ditched the Sydney Spider-Man thing, went to what my Xbox gamer tag was, which was Wicked M6, and I rolled with that for ages. And then everyone was just like assuming the 6 was an 8 and kept calling me Wicked Mate. And I was like, fuck, that's annoying, so I'm getting rid of that. And then when I started with SBS with Gab, I, before any of this, used to just use Skullboy and stuff when I was younger as my handle for like all kinds of stuff on the internet. And so I was like, oh, you know what, Bones sounds like it's something that we could do together, because we wanted to initially name our show Keeping Up with the Boneses. And I was like, if I'm in Bones as well, that'll make total sense. So I went with Bones, but for me, I've always been dark. I've always been into horror movies. I've always been into scary shit. I grew up around horror, so I was like, grim is a word that really connects with me. And I wanted to be known as Xander Grimm in wrestling, and I was like, I'm just going to take the Grimm from that, add it to Bones, and we'll move ahead with our double piece of content.
Fair enough.
But then they decided they didn't want to go ahead with Keeping Up with the Boneses, and I was like, well, fuck it. It's good that you don't want it, because we want it for later anyway. So
fuck you guys.
Yeah, so it was like, I feel like it was way better opportunity for us to keep that and use it later down the track.
Yeah. Never come up with your best ideas when you're on the clock.
Exactly.
Particularly if you're doing your HSC, for anyone going to school, if whatever you come up with is owned by the school. So don't come up with $1 million app at school. There's my advice.
How that works?
It's a thing, because our teacher said, if you've come up with $1 million idea, don't tell us.
Yeah.
Because it won't be yours.
My school never told me that.
Yeah.
So they wanted
that was
to
the one bit
didn't expect good ideas to come from it.
Probably
that was the only thing the guy ever taught us, besides him playing Flight Simulator on his computer behind and yelling stop playing games at us.
Yep.
That was it. That was the extent of multimedia at high school.
Though. That is good advice.
While he played the games.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
And for the record, I couldn't have made my my pseudonym my gamer tag because that was Funky Dragon. I made it when I was 12. I just put Dragon in on Xbox Live, and it was one of the spat out suggestions at the time. So I just went back, put the space in it because I didn't want it to be all mushed together, and I was like, that'll do.
Yeah, that's fair.
Totally you.
Yeah. It actually it turns out that Grim Bones is before I started using it, some designer over in like Sweden or something was known as Grim Bones, and he still runs with it but doesn't have much of a presence. So I was like, fuck you, I've got more numbers.
Yeah, I found that with Whom Photography, and even I have more numbers than they do.
Yeah.
I found I think she's a makeup artist, and she's called Lucky Grim.
Oh, really?
I'm not kidding.
How the fuck does that
and
work?
she's got a good big following on Facebook, I think it is. And I saw her the other day and was like, what? Yeah, it was bizarre.
I found Accio Titties on a t-shirt, but when I say t-shirt, I mean like it's a baby onesie, and it just says Accio Titty for the babies.
Fair enough.
We need a
not a
sized shirt for Chloe that says Accio Titties on it, and we'll do like Regina George style where we'll cut the nips in it.
I love you.
I know, right? All right, kids. I've got one last question for y'all.
One more.
Since this has been really fun, obviously we'll do it again. But watch me butcher this name. Ninja Noxai asks, games this year you guys would consider Game of the Year?
Oh.
Yeah. Suck that.
I'll need a moment.
I'm going to weigh in quite early and say that maybe... Shit, no. I take that back. You guys go first.
Do you have an idea?
Mine will probably be it's only really based on what I enjoy.
Yeah.
Like I don't delve into games as much as what Dan would, but Injustice 2.
Ooh.
Really?
Yeah, I really
Fair.
I enjoy
now that
fighting
the Ninja
games.
Turtles are in there, it makes sense.
No, but I really enjoy fighting games as well, so it suits me.
Okay.
Come back to me.
Okay.
You got anything?
I know for a fact that there is word out there that PUBG is being considered as Game of the Year. when you look at sales and the fact that it's got so many people who have signed up to it, I think it's like into its 18 million copies sold or something. And that's for a game that's early access, incomplete, still full of bugs. They haven't even finished with all their updates yet. But there's also a whole lot of negative feedback coming from the fans about that.
I went to buy it and I saw right around the time I wanted to buy it, and I still haven't because of this. It was like, don't buy this until they fix it. Yeah. Because it's just being hacked by, I think, China. Yeah. And it's totally screwing up all the higher level ranked stuff. And it was like, first things first, look at the hours I've played. Yeah. And then read my review. And it was like 1,000 hours played or something stupid like that. And it was just like, all right, if he's saying it, then I'm going to give that some clout.
Yeah. I've never looked at PUBG as a game that I want to rank in. I'm like, what I found with PUBG was that it was the best kind of game to get together with mates and just enjoy, like, first trying to survive, and then just like pressing the TeamSpeak button when you've killed someone and just really ripping on people and just hearing all the other people getting really upset at you.
I need to record it.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much modern day, like Xbox Live, Halo kind of.
Yeah.
Early days of every little 12-year-old with their headset on.
Yeah, it is fun to just jump in and just have a night of mucking around and shooting people. I would love to say that I think PUBG is like my favorite game to play at the moment. I wouldn't call it a game of the year, but I think it's my favorite game to play at the moment. I don't know what's going to take game of the year, to be completely honest, because there's been some pretty decent titles that have come through.
Has it got a good teabagging mechanic?
I mean, there's
just the animation.
There's a separation between the crouching and the standing. Like, it'll take you a second to
so
move
you can't
down.
like quickly toggle.
No,
okay, well that's disappointing. I would hope that they will patch that in as they come further up their sort of production.
I would say so, because they're about to patch vaulting in. I think they may have just done it.
I think teabagging is more important than vaulting personally.
Well, I feel like if you can vault, then you should be able to teabag.
One goes in with the other. I mean, it's all to do with that fluid motion of
just finding that movement. Gab, do you have a game that you think should be game of the year? You remember the one you were thinking about?
We love Katamari.
Game of the year every year.
I'm not shocked at all.
Just get drunk and roll all that shit together in a big ball and then stuff it in your vagina.
Oh God! I love Step Brothers.
That's a Step Brothers, bro.
Sure it is.
Do you ever, did you get across Forza at all? Did you have you play much of that at all?
No, I didn't, because I haven't ever since I bought the Xbox racing wheel and it was not very good in the generation of the 360.
Yep. And
so I moved my simulation racing stuff away from Xbox and onto PC.
Okay.
And so if I was going to pick a game of the year for me personally, I'd just pick Assetto Corsa because or Dirt Rally. I think they were both early this year. They really blew up, but I mean, for me, my personal game of the year of what I've actually been playing, it's one of those two because they're really, really great fun and really like realistic simulation. So it's rewarding to be good at.
Did Zelda come out this year?
Yeah, Zelda did.
Yeah. That could be a good contender for
if
something
really
that
anything
will
on
actually
Switch
be
is this year because Switch launched in March.
Switch is like kind of smashing it at the moment as well. So I would literally say it's going to be between Zelda and Mario Odyssey because Mario Odyssey is making a lot of noise at the moment.
Snipper Clips is pretty good too.
Yeah, well, it's getting updates as well, which is great. So there's new features coming into that.
Oh, that actual game.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
But there was that one that we went to the premiere for the
Assassin's
party.
Creed.
No, it's a PlayStation game.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah. That had such nice visuals.
So
its story was great and it had a really strong following when it came out, so that could potentially be.
There have been a lot of really strong ones this year because it's been like one after the other of like, this is the best game ever in the world ever, and it's like the biggest thing ever, and it's going to be the biggest thing ever forever and ever and ever. And then, a month later, there's something else that's like taking the crown.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, there's a list of games from us that we like playing.
Yeah.
Guarantee you none of those will probably end up being game of the year. But
Minecraft.
If PUBG is, I think we're going to have a lot of noise made about that online. So that'll be interesting to see. I kind of hope it happens just so we can see what people think about it. But
all right.
Yeah, that's the AMA for today.
Yay.
Just because we've only answered a few episodes this question, I think we'll do this a few more times over.
A few episodes this question.
Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, shit. Just because we've done only a few questions this episode, or answered a few questions this episode, we will do this again for a few more upcoming episodes, I believe. I kind of like it. I think
we can go between it. We can do a whole episode on it. We can do some normal stuff.
Yeah,
we'll mix it up. Keep it interesting.
Yeah, today was a really simple ask us shit and we'll answer it kind of episode, and so I think
feel for it.
We'll throw a few more of those kinds of things into our shows from here on out. But
it gives you guys a chance to find some curly questions like the where's the best place you've violated a bathroom.
Yeah. I mean, we
Chloe.
even managed to answer, how do I touch Akio Titty's boobs? Like,
I've bumped the camera at least 6 times.
Oh, that's okay. I mean, it was.
Josh hates me.
I
It's
also
so bad.
felt that earthquake happen while we were talking, so it's fine.
The Russians.
It's fine. You only Chloe, stop hitting my microphone. We're going to sign off right now because it's warm in here. I'm about to headbutt something. And my microphone keeps moving. So if you would love to subscribe to the show because you've enjoyed what you've seen, please press the red button. Is it still red? I think it's red.
I think so.
Press the button that says subscribe on it if you've liked what you've seen. Leave us a comment down below and ask us a question for future episodes. You can find Josh at
Josh_Florence.
You can find Chloe at
Akio Titties.
You can find Lucky Bones at
Lucky Bones.
and you can find me at Grimbones. That's pretty much the handle we'll use across all social media, but at the same time, if you find one of us, you can find all of us.
Share us with your mum.
That's what I was just about to say. I was like, share us with your mum.
Or your hot uncles.
Hot uncles?
Yeah, boy.
That's a hot uncle.
Seedy uncles.
There's always a hot uncle.
Seedy
He's
uncles.
got the porn moustache
Told
going.
you, she comes from Mauritius and they were all related and weird and shit.
Dude.
We're going down the rabbit hole.
Until next time, we are Boneyard Arcade signing off. We'll see you again soon. Give us a little noise before we sign out, Gab, just to show that you're back there with the microphone in your hand. We will see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.